first game that they played, which was the AIOU, then you turn around, right? But the Korean version.
No, it's werewolf.
AIOU.
I thought it was the traffic light, but okay, yeah.
Why does it suck to be successful? This is your daily catch-up.
안녕하세요.
Okay.
Let's clap for the crew. Yeah, let's get good job, guys.
Why are we clapping? Is Squid Game coming back for season 2 really good news?
Hey, yes, it's good news for me.
So Netflix has just announced that Squid Game is coming back for season 2, which is no surprise because it's like their most successful series thus far. And yeah, basically they shared that like some of the main characters, Gi-hoon, the front man, the man in the suit, which is Gong-yu, and the creepy doll is even going to have a boyfriend that will make an appearance in season 2.
Why would they say all that?
Spoiler.
It's just to like
Tease you, tease the audience.
Yeah, but it's like
Fans.
coming out like.
Who cares about the doll?
Wait, hold on. Are we
Boyfriend.
just gonna move past that? The creepy
boyfriend.
doll and the boyfriend.
Like, how is that a tease? You know, it's like waiting for that, yeah.
No, but I think
She's iconic one.
Yeah, no, and also it came from a children's book, in Korean children's book.
Yeah.
So the character
Right.
has a boyfriend.
And she has a name.
Hey, you look like you're wearing the.
Hey.
It's Juice. Oh my god, someone give me.
Hey, 456!
Put picture here.
We need to pan the camera.
Then try to fit in because you never watched the show.
I never watched Squid Game. I have no idea what it's about.
Sorry
at all.
about nothing, yeah.
But yeah, so this is expected to come out in the end of 2023 or the start of 2024.
This is so early to
Yeah.
announce something like this.
Like, I feel like the internet has done this to us, huh?
Huh?
Yeah.
Everyone's so short span of
That you're
attention.
looking forward to it. But the first Squid Game actually was 12 years in the making. Because nobody believed in the story.
No, because he was rejected a lot of times.
Yeah.
That's why.
So it's not really filmed for 12 years though.
But the advantages of today's day and age is that all of this hype and whatever, and even talking about it can manifest itself into reality. And so, like, you know the new Black Adam film. So it's starring the Dwayne Johnson, right? The Rock as the Black Adam, right? So apparently, right, Dwayne Johnson, I think he talked about playing the character or whatever, right? And then from there, he went into conversations with the is it Marvel?
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, back and forth, and then it ended up being him playing the role as well.
Yeah.
And having its own film instead of just being a character or an antagonist in the Shazam series.
Correct, yeah.
Which is quite cool.
I watched the trailer. Did you watch the Black Adam trailer?
It's just
Good
The Rock being The Rock.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, he's the first superhero character where he didn't need a suit. They just paint his body or some shit.
No, but you know what? Like, Pierce Brosnan looks good in it though. I think quite good to have him.
Who's that?
James Bond. James Bond.
Oh.
No, but I think like another example of that happening.
I didn't know the Daniel.
No, there's so many James Bonds.
You know, in James Bond, right, when Pierce Brosnan was James Bond, he didn't have to wear a bulletproof vest. Because he's
He's really quite.
You know how you really building on Velcro?
That's quite funny.
No, but another example of that was Deadpool. Like I remember 20th Century Fox actually didn't want to commission a Deadpool movie, right? So Ryan Reynolds and the director Tim Miller leaked the trailer. They had a concept, so they did like a previs, right? And then they leaked it, and it became so hype. Everybody
They
said, "Oh my god, this was," because they didn't want to do an R-rated superhero movie. It wasn't tested before that, and then because of that, Fox greenlit it and became such a successful R-rated superhero show.
And now the next Deadpool is going to be the first ever. No, it still wasn't R-rated for international release, right? But now the next Deadpool is going to officially be the first R-rated superhero movie.
Really, I thought the first one was because there was like
I
crazy
think
blood
it was,
everything.
yeah.
Okay, lah, then I'm wrong, lah. Squid Game. What?
Logan was also R-rated. Yeah.
That's not an uncommon thing though. So basically, okay, spoiler
Can you join his team? Fix that already.
Hey, yeah, I think you're right.
Somebody has to take the fall for this show.
It's best for you because you're already so close to the ground.
Wow. She was saving that.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna keep this over in, but I think we have to.
So we have to cut it.
Red light. Like, oh wait, but then they cannot move.
Bang!
They cannot move to like this video. So green light, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and comment down below if you have any thoughts so far. Back to the episode. Did you all enjoy Squid Game 1?
Nope.
Yes.
Didn't
I
it?
like it.
Sorry, this is the shallow side.
Okay, good. Come, say.
They very film buff one. All the nice movie are like everybody like one, they don't like.
Everything,
Like,
everywhere, all at
oh,
once. 9
That
out of
one's
10.
okay. That was okay.
I haven't watched it.
Huh? Why are you so shocked? I thought you don't like. It's just me.
Besides the fact that it was
I
a
don't like
little bit
that
too long, I think it was
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
My favorite scene was the stone, the two rocks. Very, very nice. Best
Oh,
scene.
that explains a lot.
We go back to Squid Game.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
why did you all like it? Please tell me.
Huh? It's good.
Please help
It's
me
just entertaining.
understand.
Is it about sotong?
Yeah, close, correct.
So the gist of it is that there's this like weird there's this weird like it's almost like Saw.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like Saw.
It's at least in Borderland, but Korea version.
Never seen. No, so it's like Saw. It's like a twisted game, and then they'll just get a bunch of people, and then they'll put them in, and then they play, and then
They
people
play
actually
children's
die.
game.
Right.
Squid Game is a children Korean game. Korean children game.
But it's like a
Illumination
dystopian
is death.
society lah.
No, it's
No, you are
modern
put
day,
inside.
but then basically
Like-
people who are very in debt, right? They're given this opportunity to earn easy money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so a lot of them like they're desperate, then they just go in, and then it turns out that it was reviewed at the first game that they played, which was the AIOU. Then you turn around, right? But the Korean version,
No, it's werewolf, Mr. Werewolf. Then you tell me.
you never play AIOU.
It's the same. It's the same.
Oh, okay.
I owe you.
I thought it was the traffic light, but okay, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so basically, when the thing turn around, if you move right, they shoot you.
Got you.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
basically was a death game.
But they did know that at that game.
Yeah.
So
Got
everyone
you.
just thinking stop, lose, get eliminated and sent home. But then
Yeah.
they were shot to death. Then that's when the film really started.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good.
Episode 1 was pretty good.
Thanks for explaining for all 5 of us who didn't watch it. It was such a popular show.
Yeah. Then after that, but one big reason why I didn't like it is the main character's plot armor is like so thick, yeah.
Yeah. And it's so predictable. The whole show is so predictable.
Yeah.
But the one thing I like about the show was that there was this one episode called Hell, and the interesting thing, but since you don't know, right, is that once they all got thrown into the game, after they experienced that first game already, right, they were actually given the option to be released.
Oh.
They could vote.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if the
that
majority says
wins.
yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
So they voted, and then they were released back into reality, and then that whole episode proceeded to show them back in reality and show how shit their reality is. So Hell is not the game, but it's real.
real life.
And those people were not picked off the streets. They were like some man in a suit will just challenge you to play a game. You know, like Korean game, you throw on the floor.
They
then
need to
if it
flip the
flips-
thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just if you win, I give you money.
If you lose, let me slap you one time.
Hey, but he really slaps, yeah. Like the show, like.
Yeah.
So then everybody just like that play already say okay, cool. Then you just give you a name card. If you want more ways to make money like that, this is your name card.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody joined. They voluntarily called to join.
Then they went back.
Volunteer lah, but they're so desperate.
Yeah.
But there's a theory that like this man in a suit does not actually know what the Squid Games consist of.
Right. So he's just there to facilitate for that lah.
Yeah, but he feels like he's giving them this opportunity, but he has no idea that they actually die.
He was outsourced BD.
From Fiverr.
Yeah.
There was this other theory that all the people that were working there are also contestants playing a separate game.
Oh. That's quite interesting.
No, then
like the
that's
Harvard-
how like they all suspect, right? Season 2, right? That guy, remember at the end of season 1, Gi-hoon, he dyed his hair red. Remember?
Nope.
Then they suspect that he's gonna go in again the game, right? As the staff, as the.
But how can it
facilitator.
be if they're like watching him so closely?
Don't know lah. Like how the police guy, the brother, right?
Yeah,
got
yeah,
in
yeah.
infiltrate. What? That's how he gonna do it.
Yeah, I remember. I seem to recall them showing the back end a little bit, like of the other the game like masters and all that also, right?
The facilitators.
Yeah, and then they have a lot of rules, like they are not allowed to talk to each other and whatnot. And then they
yeah.
all have to wear masks.
Yeah.
So you don't know who the other people are.
I see.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
So if I'm not wrong, attached to that theory, right, is that because you get to choose which color that or flip,
Yep.
right? Yeah, if you chose the other color, you join the.
Correct. So most of them choose the blue. No, but I think that one was debunked leh. Cause like remember at the first time they
I
got
don't
in,
remember
right?
enough things to have this conversation. Yeah.
No,
Theories.
no, because when the first day when they got in, right, they had a whole screen, right, a monitor of showing how they all got flipped and then they all got slapped also. And some chose red, some chose blue, and they're all there.
Right.
Yeah, so that might be maybe not.
But you see,
a real fan here.
like it's like these fan theories that really
Yeah.
make a show alive.
Yeah.
It's like the Game of Thrones, then going and say, oh hey, predicting what will happen, and actually the meaning of this is this. That actually really makes the show.
Speaking of Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones was probably the TV show that made everybody realize that the TV sucks.
Because you cannot see the dark.
You
The
can
dark
see the
scene,
last
right?
episode was so dark. You can only see the torch, see fire. The whole episode you just so stare at fire and hear sound.
They want to upgrade because got so much nudity, then they want to see.
Because honestly, you go to a TV store, right? The TV shop, then they tell you what they give you the deepest blacks. And I'm like, yeah, hey, come on, I just want to watch Friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then boom, you watch this one. They're like, cannot see anything, yeah.
their exposure wrong.
But movie level production for a TV series, woo, shook,
Yeah.
yeah.
The budget is crazy.
And they're releasing the prequel series soon, right?
yes, that's
Yeah,
right. The Lord of the Rings one also. The a prequel series.
Ah.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who never watched Game of Thrones?
No, I also never watched.
Oh, thank God.
honestly, I watch for the
Nudity.
Incest.
Nudity, confirm.
early nudity. I was Then stay for the plots. Yeah, really solid plot. Really solid plot.
As it unfolds and the world building damn strong.
Yeah.
Damn show.
Until season 8.
Really?
And then
I
the
tried.
whole appeal of the show to begin with was that any character can be killed. That's
Correct.
the appeal.
No.
Until season 7.
Every character is killed.
Yeah, you thought that this guy's the main character and then you like root for
Yeah,
him.
they don't mind they spend the whole thing shooting massive walls for that person to make you lie and fucking kill over.
Squid Game totally can't relate. There's the biggest reason is because so the more interesting character, which I would have liked the show a lot more if he had won, is this guy's best friend. So he actually went into the show and realized that, and then he found when he went into the game, he met his childhood best friend who became like an investment banker. They went to work in Seoul, in another city. Yeah, so he was surprised to see him there lah. But then throughout the show, right, they developed this best friend guy as a very I need the money. So he's kind of for himself, and so he has made choices that has betrayed other people for himself.
Very selfish
but
guy.
then in the end, then they he lost lah.
Hero
So
immunity
the main character just won lah, which I feel like one character clearly has so much more depth. So I wish he had won. But that brings me to a show that I really like. It's called What Happened to Monday. So
What happened?
yeah, if you watch the show, you
Lions,
know.
yeah.
It's a movie lah. It's a movie. So it basically talks about how in the future then we got food shortage and stuff, right? So every family can only have one child, and then if you have more than that, they'll just get taken into this cryo sleep
that's
chamber.
So in China in real life.
Yeah, that's China.
But in US, yeah. So then what happened was that there was this mom who, but then sorry, because of the GM food, so everyone is having twins, triplets, septuplets, that kind. But then there's also a food shortage, and therefore all your other children have to be taken to cryo sleep, and if your oldest child dies, then the second born will come out.
Right.
Then but at any one time you can only have one child. And then so this lady, she gave birth to 7, and the doctor was a friend, and then the lady died in birth. So the grandfather came to take care of the kids instead, and then because they can only have one, right?
You're not gonna spoil the ending, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm setting
Sounds
up.
like a movie I don't mind watching. Yeah.
So then he actually, all of them are named by the days,
week.
the day of the week that they can go out. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that day, then they will get to go out. They have to all dress the same. They wear the exact same thing, right? Then at night when they come back, then they have this camera thing that they will play at the dinner table to debrief each other on what happened. Then they all share one job. Yeah, then they etc.
I actually know where all this like.
And
Then
then
every day you just stay home.
So interesting.
And then after that, there was one day that Monday didn't come home.
What happened to Monday?
What happened to
Hey, no,
You said
That's so but yeah.
If I had a twin, right? Honestly, you can hack lives, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say you have a twin. Then I'm like, where's this twin?
Yeah, I have a twin also.
Wait,
My brother is my.
No way.
I told you guys.
Shut up.
No, for real.
So your brother look like you, or you look like?
No, you say real first. You say real.
not
Not the
like
waste
my
time.
brother.
You take out picture then later some random dude.
Jackie really does have a twin.
Yeah. Pinky. No.
Pinky.
I forgot the name
He's
already.
a female twin.
Oh.
Yeah.
You also have a male twin, what?
So Jacqueline.
Hey, John
That's
Paul
so
also
sad.
got female twin. The photo was going around. Hey, damn hot.
Oh yeah, he's DP.
Yeah.
I sent the editor the photo.
Call them.
I'm just all damn sian that we came to a point right where there's cable, and then we got so sick of paying for all these different channels. Then we suddenly had Netflix, and then now there's Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and then we have to pay for so many things. Right, it ends up being the same amount as paying for cable again.
But a lot of people are unsubscribing for Netflix.
Yeah, there's too much. It's bloated content.
They want to
already.
give you ads, which is the entire point of Netflix. Is that
Netflix giving you ads, man?
soon?
They're going to think about it. They are going to start it soon.
for
I think, yeah.
premium. Why we have?
Pre-roll lah.
It's called greed.
And
I guess pre-roll for a movie is okay.
Red Notice is the exact reason why they have so much bloated content. It's so shit. They just get all these
What is red notice?
You also agree? I hate
Hollywood,
Right.
blockbuster
Right.
budget lah.
they have so much pull to get all these big stars, and then they create a B-rated movie.
Yeah, it's damn
Or
bad.
the Chris Hemsworth wife recently.
Yes. Apparently, it's the #1 show now, right?
It's so shit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What
Which
show?
the
Interceptor.
Yeah. Elsa Patenki or something
Yeah,
like
the
that.
top 10 cannot trust one.
Yeah.
No, but it really is #1 in many countries. Right? Then the director himself came out and said, "I don't know why, because it's such a shit film."
Yo, it really was so shit. The whole show maybe got 6 actors. Then nobody can carry. Then
Bro, what happened to Money got one?
then Chris Hemsworth got cameo, but
Spoiler.
because he's inside, they cameo him 4 times.
Yeah. Oh, I read
Yeah, but
notice.
speaking of Squid Game, I think something that was very that I also don't understand why people like that model girl so much. The Ho Yeon Jong. So she's the short hair, like the tomboy character.
She got chill moments.
No, but she's just too cool.
You know how much she grew from 400k followers before this show to today, right? She has like 23 million.
Shit.
Damn.
That's within a year.
That's more than Miss Pui. You put that into perspective.
Oh yeah. Miss Pui took how long to get here?
Not long actually.
She was at 17 million within months. So it was like quite
Yeah, but if you're part of the biggest show on Netflix, I mean, I'm not surprised.
A lot of people are part of the bigger show though, but it ruined, like there was another actor, right, it ruined his life. The gangster, so there was a gangster character that's inside, and then apparently after that, right, like people start like cursing him out on the streets or whatever, and then
Oh my God.
yeah,
Because he's
they were
acting so
mean
good.
to him, yeah, because of his character in the show.
Yeah, people really can't separate. Like Obi-Wan also, there was this like African American actress, right? But because people just hated the character, right, they started DMing her damn racist stuff.
Oh, shit.
That until Ewan McGregor had to come out and say, if you do this, you're not real Star Wars fans. Imagine Obi-Wan saying that about
and having to use that as
Yeah.
leverage, like so weird, right? Like you cannot.
What else?
Yeah,
Stop
yeah,
logic.
Yeah,
That's right.
No, come back to the Game of Thrones also. You know the prince, the boy
white
that
hair
became
guy.
king.
you. Yes.
Yes.
He also-
Joffrey.
Joffrey.
Oh, but it's true though. I really hated that little shit.
Yeah, in real life also he kena.
Poor thing,
Yeah.
It's really damn shit.
But Malfoy though. Everybody
Wow,
worship
everyone love
Malfoy.
him.
Yeah.
Cause he glow up, right?
He glow.
He
glow.
really?
And it helped that Emma Watson came out and said that she had a crush on him. It's like, okay, everybody
Is
had a
it?
crush on
Yeah,
him.
like during the reunion, and then after they met, and then they hug, and then you can see that part of her still loves him.
I thought it's the.
And this is why we read Sicilians.
No, like, he didn't glow.
Have you seen Emma
didn't
Watson's
glow,
He
brother?
look like a druggie.
No,
Emma Watson's you
handsome ah.
Speaking of drugs,
It's the same person.
Say again.
Emma Watson's
Is
brother.
that a good or bad thing?
She like her brother.
Questionable, yeah. Damn questionable. If you cannot get her, maybe
Is it just Eddie Redmayne?
See.
Okay lah.
You know what I mean, lah?
But he good looking, right? He good looking.
Handsome. They use the app on her.
yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
You all got see my sister? It's also like. I put a picture here. Sure, yeah.
The first time I met Jackie's sister, I'm like, oh my god, it's like you
But
with long
you-
hair. Then I realized it's a twin. Like, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, it's like you also you
makes sense.
mistook Rui Yong for and his sister, right? For
Oh, I thought it was his girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh,
You thought his girlfriend looked like him.
Then, oh my god, why his girlfriend looks exactly like him? Didn't cross my mind. That is the sister.
No, but this guy, he actually came out to say, right, like this is the best thing that's happened to his career or his best opportunity, and then, but then it's also the worst thing that's happened to him because of all of that, lah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because of all the hate
The
that-
gangster lah.
His fame
Right.
came at a price.
Shag, oh. What fame.
But I
does to
wonder,
this.
right, like with the Squid Game 2 coming out and all that, or I'm not sure whether this model girl is gonna cast it in other shows, right? Like the burden of having to like live up to your performance, right? Because the Squid Game was her first ever show. She was a model, then they just scouted her and asked her to do this role. Then after that, she blew up, and then now is there that like stress continuing into
Wait.
the second season?
Right.
Didn't she die?
Yeah, in the show, yeah. So
Okay
she,
lah.
yeah.
So no stress, no more season 2
No,
for you.
other films that
dramas.
she's-
Yeah.
Pressure
a lot
lah,
of people are saying
pressure.
she's a great actress, which is why they like her.
Right.
No, I just thought she gave me like very cool vibes.
Like a lot of
Vibe
child
vibes.
actors actually go through this problem also. Like Harry Potter also rabak,
Miley
right? For a
Cyrus.
long period of time.
Until now, Daniel Radcliffe, like you don't really see him like starring in like main roles.
But he
so-
tried though, to be honest.
He always acts
tried.
as like a villain in like some random.
Yeah.
He
role.
acts as villain.
Yeah, sometimes.
He
Like
had a-
now you see me.
No, but from what I read, right, he intentionally feels like he wants to go into indie films and
Yeah.
he wants
Yeah.
to break away.
So speaking of which, his next big movie, right? He plays Weird Al Yankovic.
What?
Yeah,
Hey,
with the
that would be so
curly
interesting to
hair.
see.
Yeah,
Who's that?
Weird Al,
Weird Al.
the guy who does all the parody.
He was the OG of parodying famous songs.
Right.
Yeah. He actually, prior to coming back and starting to do indie films, I think he went through a crazy like alcoholic phase also. Like he was getting recognized, right? Then in order when he goes out in public, go parties, right? He keep getting recognized. He they couldn't deal with all of that, lah. So every time he go out, he just tell himself, the faster I get drunk or black out, and then the faster this will all go away or something like that. lah.
Wait, so he didn't like being famous?
I think there are challenges when it comes to fame law that it's very hard to deal with, especially if you're a child actor. Nobody is there to kind of mentor you or guide you through that process. Then you just got to leave it out and learn how to survive.
And your parents are proud of you.
Yeah.
Your friends are saying, "Hey, just be nice, like because everybody thinking it's so
You have
nice that
everything,
everybody
yeah.
know you." Yeah.
But you never had a normal life. Your childhood.
Do you all know
all
what happened to
taken.
Justin Bieber?
His eye thing.
We talked about this.
The
Yeah.
Ramsey
No,
Hunt.
not yet.
Yo, like speaking of child stars, Like, do you all see this IG story where he addressed why he had to cancel
Yeah.
the thing?
Yeah.
Everybody saw it. Like,
Yeah.
No.
The
Half his
has
face paralyzed, basically.
viral bacterial infection, and his eye got this, like, basically he is paralyzed. But he kind of have jaw control of sorts, so the mouth looks fine. It's just that when he talk, right, this eye doesn't blink. He looks up and
It's crazy.
because he will emote with one side of his face,
Okay.
and then the other side doesn't emote.
Like two-faced like lah.
No,
Yes,
but the mouth
dude.
also.
Curable?
Yes.
Curable or
Curable. He's already showing signs of recovery according to his
But walao, damn scary. And to be honest, the first thing that came to my mind was that must be because you abuse drugs in your teenage life, but it's not. It's a viral infection.
No, it's not. My cousin
judgy.
recently just had the same issue.
Oh.
I think, yeah. He just cannot blink one day. He wake up, cannot blink. Then
Then
go.
how?
I think, yeah.
wink
then
lah,
go,
not blink.
Oh, he cannot.
Oh, he can
cannot
wink.
close.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Wink out
right,
and then
right,
he can wink.
My bad.
Yeah, I think one side or something. Then he went to see doctor, whatever. Then okay already.
I recently like watched this it was a sermon actually. So like the pastor brought up this show called The Weight of Gold documentary. It's about Olympians like who are gold medalists, and I think like narrated and like mainly focused on Michael Phelps also. So he has won like so many gold medals, right? He's at the height of his life and like he's in the media so much and also and all that, right? But also at the same time, right, he was going through so much depression and all that, and this is the same for many other Olympic gold medalists like Sasha Cohen and then like a few others. So it's very interesting because they talk about how they
Borat. Wait, what the process?
Such a very good one.
He's a swimmer.
I try to like. Okay, see you.
Somehow he's on the bikini side. The mankini, right? Then I'm thinking like, wait, this guy got no filters. He's a f***ing shark.
figure skater. Yeah.
No, because it's not impossible that he could be an Olympic champion also, you know. I mean, Olympic champion.
Yeah, so basically the documentary like explores
Explores.
the struggles of these few Olympians and talks about like the debilitating depression they had, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and
Debilitating depression.
a lot of like other mental health crises. And so one of the quotes that, if I'm not wrong, is Phelps that said was that nobody helps us. We were just products. Like they were
Right.
just like for them to do advertising or whatever like, and behind the scenes they were going through all of this to the point that he said that like he wouldn't even want his children like to go into such competitive sports, or like chase the Olympic dream and all that.
Right.
So
It's crazy.
that
So
was
heartbreaking, to
he
hear
talks about
this.
how like even his low points, right, he also experiences like out in the open and all that. Yeah, and so they were really struggling. Like,
And it sucks that like when people see this, right, they're like, this guy has everything and he's complaining, he's whining, you know. Then they react like that, right? Wow, f***ing disgusting, yeah.
What's also quite like strange is that when you take a look at every professional, right? So like whether they're sportsmen or like even like actors or whatnot, right? Well, wait, let's take sportsmen first, right? So your peak, right, is usually when you're 27 or 30, right? You're not even lived half your life and then now you're famous, you've got money, you've got all these achievements, right? But then after that, when you retire, you are like normal person and you have to live the rest of your life without that fame, without that level of money again. Like it's so strange to even be accustomed to. I think that there was an interview that Matt Damon did. So like he and Ben Affleck won an Oscar very, very, very young. They won it for writing Good Will Hunting. So like he basically put it on his shelf, right? And he said, "Thank God I didn't waste my entire life chasing this thing," because he just realized it's just an object. Imagine all these
Wow,
actors,
so much wisdom in that.
right? Like working until they're 70 or 80. Like imagine if Leonardo never won and he keeps like trying to work just to win that, and then realize, fuck, I wasted all my life just to win that golden trophy.
that's exactly what The Weight of Gold talks about also. Like he went through, like he don't know who he was aside from swimming. Yeah, it's like because at their level, right, he says like you spend 1 day out of the pool, right, you need 2 days to get back to that level which you were at. And then so like when he wasn't swimming, then he just don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Like he was questioning that purpose. Yeah, and then the sermon was actually talking about like when the gift becomes a prison. So when like talent or when something that you feel like is you excel at, you're good at, right? How if you're not careful, right, that can become a prison and trap you in it. That like you just think your whole life revolves around that, right? But no.
You know, so like it's so unhealthy that society celebrates this extremism. Like that. I mean, obviously there are
What do you
feats that we
mean?
want to excel. So like I think there was this documentary or whatever lah, but they were basically talking about Michael Jordan and how like he's so celebrated, right, as like the greatest, and like people call him a GOAT. I don't know for what.
Greatest
but-
of all time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they call him a goat. Maybe because of the facial hair at some point. But then, no. Not
Yes,
anything.
yes,
Goatee.
yes.
No. Okay, my bad.
Okay, move on.
The comment's gonna.
Yeah, but it's actually you're celebrating an very unhealthy, toxic, like addicted mentality of overdoing and going deep diving into something so much, right?
Yeah.
That nobody talks about the neglect of his family, the neglect of other aspects of his life and whatnot, you know? And it's a very extreme thing to go through, and similarly, right?
But it's not the audience's fault for celebrating what they see on TV, what?
No, exactly that. But it's the fact that society has been shaped in this way to a lot of people don't realize that there's so much that you're going to have to sacrifice, right, to get there, and that this might not be the healthiest way to live a life. Yeah, they look at that as the goal, as the achievement, which is exactly what he's talking about. Like even when you look at that object, right, is that taking it to the extreme. Are you willing to sacrifice everything else or not? Yeah, but back to this point about pushing yourself and only focusing on that one thing, right? I feel like a lot of life is in, like, you can live your life out in chapters. Like, at least for me also, like, the way I perceive it is that maybe this 10, 15 years I'm pursuing this, right? But then maybe the next chapter is going to be something completely different. For them, they're put in a very advantageous position. The good thing is that the first like adventure that they have embarked on has a lot of like side benefits, like financial freedom and whatnot, that will allow them to basically embark on whatever next adventure they want to go on.
Depends on how you see it though. I feel like it makes them feel like money is made like that, and then they have to go through massive downsizing in life, in their lifestyle, because like lottery winners, most of them go bankrupt after that. Yeah, so I feel like especially for pop stars, because it's so public and they sing, and like you look at athletes, their social media may not be as strong, so you don't know anything else other than they're just very good at a sport. And it could also be that really only very few athletes are recognizable on the street because people don't remember what they look like. Whereas pop stars are a little bit different. It's quite sad, you see like it's like almost all of them go into depression after that.
At the end of the day, it's just the cost of fame, lah, right? Like,
Yeah.
But on the point of like cost of fame, I think that is something that we as normal people find it hard to relate to, right? But I came across this Reddit post the other day that was talking about the flip side. So this guy was asking people that know they will never achieve the level of success that they want, how
It's a Singapore Reddit, that's why I asked like
how
Yeah, it's Ask Singapore.
I think I read that.
how no
yeah.
question mark.
Yeah, what do y'all think about that? Like on the flip side.
Actually, it was quite interesting because we recently did like a live stream with like some former footballers, right? And one of the conversations that they had with like the JDT owner, for every player that they actually train, right, they make sure that all of them have alternatives just in case they don't make it into
Alternative like
football.
career path.
Yes, because it's so important, because if they put all their eggs into one basket to become a footballer and you don't make it, because at the end of the day, the first team is only 11 players, you might go to another club or not make it also. You need to be able to have a life outside of the sport so that you can still make it.
But is it not so difficult because in order to be the best, right, you have
like
to
all
commit
in
100%.
Yeah.
like how can, like all my time
to
is
have
be
life.
devoted to that, ma.
That's how people like talk about Kobe. That's how people talk about Ronaldo, right? Like those were athletes who maybe they had a bit of raw talent, but it's the hard work. Like Ronaldo spent hours after everyone went home from training to put in the extra time. Kobe did the same thing, and like you just have to do that. But you also have to notice, to be the best, there's always going to be a price to that.
Yeah, but I don't like how this question is posed, because how will people that know they will never achieve the level of success they want, right? I think even that mindset alone is flawed already. You don't know what, nobody knows what.
It's like they give up already,
try,
right?
you know?
So I recently watched a TikTok video on like how there's this pair of couple, right? This couple, right? They are living their lives, right, without they have a kid, they have a child basically, but then like they want. Sometimes they just dream about the days that they didn't have children. Yeah.
Like I have a friend that would look at Pet in My Life, and they got kids also. We got no kids, right? And because of the things that we do, it seems a bit more glamorous, and our occupation sounds a bit more fast growing in that sense. And then for this particular friend that I'm thinking about, they didn't, like, the education stopped at O level. Yeah, and so it's very hard for us to talk to them and be like, you need to work on your growth, you know, you gotta do this, because they live in a ceiling whereby their parents, for example, they are going into their 60s, 70s, right? Their salary was 2K, 1.8K, and they are seemingly in the exact like footstep.
Right.
And so when we try and like talk sense into them, because of we from the sidelines observe some of their decisions that they make are not the most sound, right? But we also see why they cannot see our way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like this reminds me of the point of contentment, because humans are not meant to hoard. We are to hoard,
Hoard.
to have so much, to be addressing an audience of millions, to have audience of millions address you or try to communicate with you. We are planned for next meal. That's the evolution of humans, right? All these things that you understand about how connected we are, they all happened in the last 100 years, right? Like before that, we are living meal to meal and we're trying to find the next meal, and that was how we were built. And in that sense, is if you have enough, then you are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
there's
it's
a difference, leh.
thousands of years of enough, and now we all have abundance and what to deal with abundance.
Yeah.
And all of us go into mental.
So Harry Styles, right, actually had an interview and he actually said this, which was really interesting. His mantra is that no matter what anyone tells him, right, he doesn't believe it. If they tell you you are the best in your career right now, he doesn't believe it. But
Right.
also if you are the worst in your career now, just don't believe it. Because Tom Hanks has a similar quote, anything can change. And so just stick to yourself. Achieve, don't seek approval. Do stuff to achieve, don't do stuff to get approved.
Yeah, I feel like the thing that drives human beings the hardest and the furthest is actually purpose. But a lot of people don't really know or understand that true
Do you
what
know?
purpose is. Honestly, no. But I think it's constantly changing also. You know how people say you're all born with a purpose? That you just need to find it. Yeah.
Sure.
I think there are a few that you can find, but once you land on it, right, and you are completely driven towards that, right, I think there's very little that can come between, like, that can stop you from achieving those things. But most people, they have illusions around them that they might mistakenly think is the purpose.
Yeah.
So for example, with your case, right, like they might see something and think, I also want that, but they don't understand why they really want it, and so that creates a false purpose for them, and then they feel jealousy and maybe resentment or whatever else, right?
No lah. To be fair, no.
But they feel these things, but it's just because they haven't found that true purpose to truly drive.
What were some of your purposes in life, even though it changed?
Like right now, like I'm on a journey to kind of like achieve a fitness goal, and just having that sole purpose alone, right, is pushing me to like go to the gym.
What is the
almost
purpose?
every day. I want to see whether I can potentially compete or fight. How far can I take boxing? Yeah.
Right.
I think we define purpose differently.
Yeah.
And
But there are different types of
achievement
purpose also, you know what I mean?
Like that sounds like a goal, like a life goal.
Yeah.
And what's important is to make sure that your goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time
Time
sensitive.
So what does that spell? Sperm.
Well.
No, but I think you always say life goals, right? One of my life goals at the start, right, was really very steady, just to go into university. So for my whole education life, right, by secondary school to JC, right, I really just like, I cannot hang out, I want to study. Right,
You seem
just to
to
go into uni, right? Because none of my family members, my parents told me that I'll be very proud if you can go uni.
Right.
Oh, you're like the first of your family.
Yeah, so I really work hard, right, just to go, and not any uni. I make sure I was one of the big threes, So like I really got in, right, and that's it. I was depressed.
You peaked
Not
already,
depressed. I was really, really lost and upset with myself.
Yeah.
I thought I'll be happy. When I got the acceptance letter, right, I was damn happy. Then afterwards, right, like I don't know what to do.
Which is why I think it's so important to make sure that your purpose or your goal, it's always changing, but it's always further ahead in life. Like Matthew McConaughey, I keep quoting celebrities, right? But he says that his idol is himself 10 years from now. And when he finally reaches that, his next idol is himself 10 years from now. He's always chasing that goal so that he's never ever satisfied with where he is.
Green
today.
light.
So at the end of this, to wrap it up, ask yourself, who are you 10 years from now?
It's the interview question.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself?
So much wisdom in that. Must a purpose be altruistic?
No.
Give me an example of a selfish purpose that is not, like in your words, a goal.
Fame, no?
Why feels
But
like
it's a
goal?
goal.
Purpose.
What's a purpose that is selfish and not a goal?
Oh no, my purpose in life is to just make sure that I'm happy. Maybe something like that.
Is that?
It
Is
just
that
feels
not-
like a more
okay.
generic thing.
Definitely not a goal because it's not
Yeah.
measurable.
Not timely.
10 years from now, so what the f***? What if you're dead?
Then I'm
Maybe that's the
What if a guy
purpose.
85 years old, what's his goal? survive.
Nice.
No, then him at 95 will be I can walk.
Do you all have purpose? Like you all kind of know what is your purpose?
I think I know my purpose, but now that I think about it, my purpose is so flaky.
Is what?
What is
Love
the
it.
purpose?
I realize I have the good pleasure of living life on the fast track, right? But all I want to do with that, right, is
slow
to
down.
celebrate with pet. Or like tell my mom.
Oh, so sweet.
No, but if I lose pet, or if my parents one day go, then what do I live for?
Which is why you need to start dining alone and be comfortable with yourself.
No, I do now. It just no. I mean, I'm okay with it now. Just no
Okay.
reason. No.
I can't do that.
I think my purpose in life, right, is really to just get to a stage where I can choose to do nothing and be completely fine.
Financial freedom.
Financially fine, like motivationally fine and everything.
I have a rough gauge of how much you have. If you wanted to, you could trade full time. What?
Possibly, but then there's a lot of risk that I feel that I cannot do nothing, constantly thinking about the risk. You know what I mean, like you can't actually do nothing.
So when you have $3 million in assets, right, you won't trade your same 100k account already. What? You start trading a 1 mil account, right? Because you don't want to take 10 years for 3 mil to become 3.5 mil already, ma.
But correct, but
You want 3 mil to become 6 mil, ma.
correct. But what a full-time job does is that you have a constant amount of money that comes in. Now, right, you need to trade to cover that amount and
Yeah.
also build more that you were going to build anyway. And so now you have to take more risk, and it's harder to sleep at night. So you can't really
So
do
that's not
nothing.
too far away from you.
mindlessly.
That's an okay purpose. That's a
So
goal,
if
lah.
a guy
That's
walks
a
up
goal.
to you
goal.
and then he asks you to play a game with him.
Full circle. What a nap.
Thank you for watching this episode. Let us know if you're looking forward to Squid Game 2.
Or what's your purpose?
No lah.
World peace
This
aside.
question too difficult.
What's your purpose?
I need to think too long before I comment.
People only want to know which Squid Game you think, how far you can go in the game.
Or purpose.
Or who's your favorite character?
Thanks for watching.
Save you.
Bye bye.
Thank you for watching TDK.
Thank you for watching TDK.
Yeah, then can we just use that?
Do again.
No need.
I'm not ready for that level of fame.